everybody. Today we're going to be presenting one of our SIS education series on Solver BI 360. My name is Dan Franklin. I work with SIS. Our presenters today are going to be Oh Hee Cho and Anthony Spanicchia with Solver, and they're going to be showing the BI 360 Business Intelligence Suite. Just a little bit of background on SIS. We've been around since 1996, and our headquarters are in Duluth, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. We deliver business process solutions driven for service companies for both the small business and the enterprise, delivering better visibility and efficiency through Microsoft Dynamics SL, AX, CRM, and 365. We specialize in project-based companies, which are primarily construction or general contractors, EAC, engineering architecture, specialty contractors especially, like plumbing or mechanical or electrical, oil and gas, and energy contractors are also a big part of our customer base, and also government contractors. But of course, we serve many, many other industries. These are just the ones we focus on. What SIS can deliver to you as a partner are many different things to help make your projects or implementations or make your software just better than the average partner. We start off with a very defined process or methodology, which starts with a current state assessment, and then we move to a requirement session to lock down exactly what the requirements are in terms of any of our projects. And we then will move into design of the solutions to make sure that we've got a very well-defined and well-accepted solution for your implementation. And we also can bring in integrations with CRM and other products to interface with your ERP system. And we also work very, very closely with cloud partners to deliver an on-premise or a cloud deployment for your solution. Again, just a couple other differentiators with SIS. We've been around for over 20 years working with Dynamics SL. We're a gold certified partner. We have a dedicated support customer care team. We also have a dedicated development team just for Dynamics SL. We have a very, very large Dynamics SL consulting practice. And we understand industries, and especially in the project arena, as you saw on the previous slide. And we focus on SL, CRM, Dynamics 365, SharePoint, D365 is also AX. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to turn the presentation over to Anthony, and he's going to go from there. Anthony with Solver. So thank you very much, and look forward to the rest of the time with you, Anthony and Oh Hee. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Very exciting today. Thanks to everyone who's attending. We think we're going to bring some very interesting information to everybody. Just briefly, I just thought I'd mention our agenda. We'll have a little bit of a flow. I'll just quickly mention who we are and summarize our solution. It's a modular solution, so just a couple slides there before we really get into the meat of the presentation, which is live demo, and that'll be conducted by Oh Hee. And then we'll have some wrap-up, some other interesting things to show you after the demo, like our customer portal, and we are going to leave time for Q&A. So please type your questions. You don't have to wait till the end. You can start typing them into the chat box as we go, whether they're questions or requests for clarification. Solver has, like SIS, has been around for 20 years. We're in our 21st year. And the product you'll see today has been on the market. It's in its 8th year. It's called BI 360. It is growing rapidly. We are adding slightly over 1 customer per business day. And we are an international company. We have offices in 12 countries today. And you can find us in Gartner Group's Magic Quadrant for Corporate Performance Software. We're very experienced in this space of business intelligence, corporate performance software, and I think you'll see that when you actually see the product. Well, just clarify, we're an international company, but the vast majority of our customers are in the US, and they do use Dynamics. Okay, BI360 is a modular solution, so you usually have to clarify that it's not just a reporting tool. It's not just a budgeting forecasting tool. It's not just a dashboard tool. It also has a data warehouse. That's optional according to your needs, more like a data mart. I'll explain more shortly. And it also has a web portal as an option. Everything is optional according to the customer's needs. So although it's a comprehensive suite, which allows you to use one product for multiple applications and gain the efficiency of working with one product, one vendor, learning one product, only having to support one product, there's a benefit there, but you simply implement and scale to suit your unique needs. Just quickly on architecture, BI360 has direct integrations to SL and AX, now 365, and it is Excel-based. You're going to see at its core, when Ohi shows how a report is built, at its core, it's an Excel add-in. Yet, for the end user, as you're going to see, they don't have to use Excel. It all could be web-based. There could be advantages to that, and certainly we're going to show you a lot of that. We have a direct integration right to Dynamics, but we also can report or budget or do dashboards off of the data warehouse. Now, why would we do that? There may be reasons that a data warehouse could be helpful for you. It could be simply for performance. It may make sense for certain reports to run off of a data warehouse versus hitting the dynamic server live. It could be because you use multiple currencies. We have a powerful currency engine in the data warehouse. The data warehouse also lets you build and manipulate trees. So there may be different reasons to use a data warehouse. However, one of the most compelling reasons is the fact that through a data warehouse, you can incorporate data beyond Dynamics from an unlimited number of sources. And the sources don't even have to be SQL, by the way. But you could aggregate data here in the data warehouse. Maybe functionally you can think of it as a data mart. It's not intended to be a comprehensive data warehouse to house every piece of information that an organization has, but to be a staging area where you can aggregate the data that you're going to want to report off of, budget or forecast off of, or do dashboards off of. And again, whether this is incorporating applications that you have today, which could easily be done, but maybe in the future. You like the solution, your organization likes the tool, but 2 or 3 years from now, there's a unique industry application that you want to use. Well, no problem. It doesn't affect anything. It's just a matter of porting that data on the back end into the data warehouse, and the end user experience on the front end is seamless. The only difference is they have more data that they can report on, forecast on, or budget on. Okay, well, I think now it is time to start looking at BI360. So I'm going to introduce Ohi Cho. Ohi, thank you so much.
All right, so hi everyone. My name is Ohi Cho, and I'll be doing the product portion of the presentation today. So before I show my screen, I'm going to open up the internet browser, which you see here today. So I'm going to start off by showing you the end user's perspective of running reports, dashboards, and budgeting templates. All right, so this is self-service in the sense that, anytime an end user wants to run a report or do budget entry, that user doesn't have to go to accounting or finance and ask them, hey, can you generate a report for me, and then email it out. This is totally self-service, and that the user can do it at any point in time. So for today's presentation, I'm going to show you our professional services model. It's very project-based. I know a lot of SL clients are project-oriented, so I do want to show you examples related to projects today. All right, and so here, this is our web portal. This is where, again, any end user can log in. We set up security, very granular security. You can limit security by department, project code, line of business, And then if you choose to bring in multiple data sources into the data warehouse, you can limit security based off of the disparate data sources. So for example, say you bring in SL data into the data warehouse, and you also bring in payroll data, you have the ability to limit, prevent a user from seeing payroll data, right? And then you can limit, and so again, security setting will automatically apply to all of these dashboards, reports, and budget templates that are on the web. All right, now over here to the left, you see our folders that you can set up, and these folders are a great way to organize all of your reports and budgeting templates. So again, if once you do bring in multiple data sources, you're just going to have tons of reports. So this is a great way to organize, create categories, so maybe a folder for your financial reports, a folder for your project-related reports, a folder for your operational reports, etc. And you can even assign users into these folders. So what that means is if I'm an end user and I log into the web portal, I will only see the reports and folders that are specifically assigned to me only. I won't even be able to have the option to sort through other reports, budget template dashboards that I don't have rights to. And then, of course, you have the ability to favorite your most commonly used item. This is unique to the end user. Nice thing about favoriting is you can toggle easily through your other favorite items down below without having to go into the main library administration page. Right. So what I'm going to do is start off with showing you some dashboard examples. So what I have on the screen, we call it our executive dashboard, but you can create a dashboard off of your SL database, or you can create dashboards off of the data warehouse if you decide to bring in multiple data sources into the data warehouse. All right, and so here, this is an example of various information. Dashboards are a great way to capture KPIs and metrics that are important to your organization. So here we have, revenue, actuals to budget. You're going to see shortly how you can utilize our tool to automatically input budget data, all with the same tool, and how it streamlines automatically into a dashboard view or report view. All right, you could have, information like project pipeline. We use this internally. So at Solver, we have a consulting department where we have projects set up. We have consultants assigned to projects. We have project managers. So I'll just walk you through some of the examples that we use here at Solver. So again, like I said, dashboards are a great way to capture KPIs that are important to your organization. So you have your top 10 client projects based on a criteria you specify. So here it's based off of billing dollar amounts. Okay, you could capture project pipeline trends, your bottom 10 clients. All right, and so for every project that a consultant is assigned to, we have some service revenue estimates. And so, you can have various graphical information, but you can even have grid-like views here. So here we have project detail. It gives you information on like project scope. Okay, so this is all, it doesn't have to be financial related information. It can even be, text fields that BI360 can capture. Right, we have revenue estimate trend, where if you click, it will drill into the actual client. So for any of these dashboards, you can specify what you want to drill down into. So here, we drill down into client, but if you want to drill down to the actual project itself, you have the ability to design that into the dashboard. All right, so again, just different ways of capturing whatever information it is. So the idea with these dashboards is as long as you have access to the data, whether it's sitting in SL or it's in any of the data sources that you bring into the data warehouse, you can create dashboards against it. All right, so this is a project status report. So here with our projects, we monitor based on, deadlines approaching and how the project is going. So we have these indicators like if the project is going well, then the status is considered green. But if things are going south, you can tag them as yellow or red. And so again, based upon these criteria that you set, you can build dashboards around it, where here we have all projects. I want to see what are the red flagged projects, and if I click here, it drills into the PM, the project managers assigned to these projects. So again, various ways you can slice and dice your project data. All right, and I mentioned this at Solver, we have consultants assigned to projects, and so another information that we capture is utilization rates. You can create these parameters for any dashboards that will allow you to slice and dice data even further. So here I want to run this consultant dashboard for a specific consultant. So consultant is a parameter that I've created. It's very easy to customize these parameters, all depending on how you want to slice and dice. So if you want to run this dashboard for project manager instead, then you can easily create that project manager parameter and select this dashboard for a specific project manager. All right, so these are some of the dashboard examples that we have, and again, we have tons of other examples related to in our corporate demo model, like the typical financial information, like revenue versus expenses. And so you're not limited to just project-related data as well. You can have, just your typical financial dashboards. If you choose to bring in payroll data, you can even have dashboards related to payroll. There really is no limit to the type of dashboards you can build. Now, what I'm going to do now is transition into a report. So the nice thing about BI360 Web Portal is you can go from a dashboard to a formatted report. So here, this is an example of a project status report. Now, all reports are created with our Excel-based report designer. I'm going to show you what that design experience looks like shortly after I go through the web portal, but essentially everything is drag and drop, in that you pick the fields that you want and you drag and drop it into Excel. Very easy to use. You pick the fields that you want, you can control your rows, you can control your columns. And so here I've selected fields where I drag and drop an end user, the project status, and then I've created these columns. And so similar to the dashboards, all reports are driven by parameters that you see here in the top right-hand corner. So here I can run it for a specific year. You can run reports on a weekly level, even on a daily basis, hourly basis, monthly basis. It really doesn't matter. And so here I can choose which week data I want to see. I'm going to take us into full screen modes here. And so here, I have the various end users, and it's a report on their project status. And there are these various informations related. So these are the consulting hours. All right, and so because these reports were created in Excel, you have the ability to export it out into an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to actually download this onto my desktop, Project Excel. All right, and I want you to see what it looks like when I open up this file back in Excel. All right, and so here, this is just a static, flat file here. And so as you can see, when I export it to Excel, it maintained all of the column widths, it maintained the formatting and and all of the colors. And if it's a report that has any calculations, it will also retain the formulas as well. And the reason why we're able to export it so easily into Excel is because our report designer truly is an Excel add-in tool. And again, you'll be able to see that shortly. All right, so just want to show you some other reports that we have. So this is a billing report. So for every consultant that's assigned to a project, we capture, how many hours they bill and what those hours equate to in terms of revenue. So again, this is a report where we have it by consultants going down the rows, and we capture various information like hours, weekly amounts. And for any of these amounts, you even have the ability to drill down by simply right-clicking. So if you look here, this is a drill down view that shows you various details. All right, and I just want to note that for any of these reports, you can even run it from a mobile device. We support iOS and Android, and so for folks on the go, you can run any of these reports. Now, you'll see that in some of these reports that there are even these graphs that you see here. So because our report truly is an Excel add-in, you can even incorporate features like Excel graphs into a BI 360 report. All right, so I'm going to show you some other features. So the web portal has dashboards and reports, and I can show you some other financial related reports shortly. But we also have a budgeting feature, and so I'm going to show you some templates around projects. Again, this is something that we use internally. But for any of our budget templates, or they're actually technically input templates, they're created with the same report designer that you would use to create a report, in that everything is drag and drop. You pick the fields that you want. And because we use Excel, any calculations, any modeling, driver-based calculations will all be handled using Excel formulas. All right, and so this is a client estimate form that we use. We have various informations like project rate, and any cell that's colored in yellow is where you would do your actual input. So I can input, like a project rate, various information you want to capture. You can use these drop-down features. This is also an Excel feature that we've brought over into BI 360 to control what can be inputted. And then you have various information that you want to capture again. Is this project going to be on-site or remote? A short project, etc. And then based on these criteria, like if it's a short project, then our hours, it automatically populates hours that are on the lower end. But if it's like a long project, on-site project, you'll notice that the number of hours jump up. So you can even embed assumptions into these requirements so that it automatically populates. But then, of course, if you ever want to override the amount of hours, you have the ability to input those amounts into these cells. All right, so for any of these total calculations, it all utilizes Excel formulas to do any calculations. And so for any of this data that you capture in the input cells, if you want to push it back to the data warehouse, it just simply requires a click of a button, and all of this data will be stored into a database. So the power of BI 360 is that, yes, it utilizes Excel, and that gives you the flexibility to create whatever custom template you want for your project budgeting. But then rather than all of that data just living in the spreadsheet, everything can get stored to a database with a click of a button. All right, so with that, I do want to spend some more time on budgeting. So I'm going to switch over into our corporate demo model just because we have more examples there. And I'm going to show you some of the other cool features of budgeting here. All right, so we have this forecasting template. And again, keep in mind that all of these templates are created with our Excel-based report designer. So, it captures very different information. The other example that we saw was purely project related. It captured non-financial data. But here now, this is a financial departmental forecast, but it's also created with the same report designer. So designing this report would be very similar to how you design a project related budget template, and that, again, everything is drag and drop. And so here, this is a monthly forecast where you can run it for a specific department, a specific database, and again, you can customize what you slice and dice on for these parameters. And this is where security would kick in. So if I'm a department manager for Department 200, then that's the only thing I can even see and select from this list. But say I'm budgeting for Department 500, then as long as I log in with my Department 500 credentials, I'll be able to budget for this particular department. So the idea with creating these templates is that it can be ran for any department, any project combination, any line of business, any division, etc. But depending on the actual user that's running the template, it will always take into their security profile into consideration, and they'll only be able to budget for the data that they have rights to. All right, so this is a other expense monthly forecast, but if you want to tweak this so that it's quarterly, yearly, 3-year, 5-year rolling, however way you want, you can easily do that. I'm going to run this for 2015-09, so you can see how this template dynamically adjust. So because I ran this for 2015-09, it's going to give you actuals up until September. All right, and because these are actuals, I can drill out into any of these amounts at any point in time, even though this is a budget template. And then for the remaining periods of the year, we have these yellow color cells. This is where I can input any of the forecast amounts. All right, and then so once I'm done budgeting for forecasting for the month of September, again, I would hit the store data button and all of the forecasting data would get stored into the database. Then I can and then say it's the next month. I can reuse this template, but except run it for the next month, 2015-10. It's going to give me actuals up until 2015-10, and then it's going to allow me to forecast for the remaining periods of the year. All right, so some other cool features I want to show, given the fact that all of our budgeting forecasting template is based off of Excel. So this is something we call a P&L breakback, in that it has all of these calculations where it will automatically generate a what if scenario amount. All right, so here I ran this for let's do it for 2015-10. All right, and so similar to the forecasting template, it gives me actuals up until 2015-10, but for the forecast for the remaining periods of the year, right now it's displaying $0. So what this template will do is you can input a desired net income amount, but this input amount could be any type of amount. It could be a desired revenue amount, desired gross margin amount, whatever it is. This is just simply an input field. In this particular example, it happens to be net income. So when I input an amount here, it's going to automatically populate this what if scenario. So I want you to watch what happens to this column when I input an amount here. All right, so I want desired net income to be $500,000. What would it take, and how would this amount break out across all of my P&L accounts? It breaks it out automatically here based on the prior year actual spreads. And then based on the what if scenario amount, it automatically populates the forecast for the remaining periods of the year. And then from here, if you want to make adjustments at the department level, if you want to make adjustments at the individual account level, you could do that. And then just like the forecasting template, just like the project template, once you're done, you would hit the store data button and everything would get stored into the database. Anything you push into the database, you can pull it back out in a report that compares actuals to what if scenario, actuals to forecast, actuals to budget. And then you can create that report template however way you want. All right, I'm just going to show you one more budgeting example. This is a simple operational expense, but there are just some other features that I want to highlight before we jump into the actual report design. All right, so with BI 360, again, you can create these parameters that will allow you to slice and dice your budget data however way you want. You even have the ability to write back to multiple budget versions. So for those that have multiple budget, you can select which budget version you want to write back to. All right, it looks like my internet's a little slow right now, so let me hit the refresh. Check the connection. I apologize about that, folks. Internet just being a little bit slow.
It's okay, Ohi. If it continues, I'll show some things, and if it comes back, I can hand it back to you. Let's see if it comes up for you. Well,
yeah, let's see.
I wonder.
See if I can connect to my other environment.
Yeah.
I'll actually transition into the report designer to show you how the reports and budget templates get created from scratch. So I can spend some time here, and then and hopefully the portal will come back up, and I can show you the rest of the budgeting templates. All right, so what I have on the screen here is Excel, regular Excel. Hopefully you guys are familiar with it. These are just all the regular toolbars that you're already comfortable with. The only difference here is this BI360 reporting tab. So once you download and install our software, you're going to have access to this BI360 reporting tab.
Yeah, Ohi at the
Right,
moment.
and so what I have here is, so anyone with a power user license.
Yep. Ohi, I don't know if you can hear me. I think your internet is affecting the video, so we're not seeing that.
Are you not seeing my screen?
There, now it came up. Thanks. Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay. I apologize about that, folks.
Yep.
Ohi,
so I'm going to take the screen. You know what?
Know if there are any other issues, but hopefully you'll be able to see everything here. So. Okay. This is our Excel-based report designer.
Yep. Ohi, what I'm going to do is, Ohi, if you can hear me,
we have reporting tab once you.
Yeah, the internet is affecting your audio and everything. So what I'm going to do is, if you could hand me the screen, I can show. Okay. I can show some other interesting things, and if your internet comes back, we'll hand it back to me. We'll hand it back to you. Okay, bear with us, everyone. We'll get this. We'll be right there.
Anthony, do you mean to make you the presenter?
Yeah, yes, do that because I think her internet is restricted that. And I will take it as soon as it comes up. There we go. Okay.
Yep, I can see your screen. Right. We're good.
Fantastic. Okay. So here's what we'll do. I've got some other interesting things to show. Oh, he had a lot more of interesting things to show. So if her internet comes back up, we'll go back to her. But yes, so let's go. I want to show you our customer portal. Actually, it touches on some of the things that Ohi was about to show. So she was going into the report designer. Now, our website has so many rich resources. Just the public area has all kinds of videos, white papers, and things you can download. However, behind it is our customer portal. And this is so rich in resources, I want to make sure you see it. So for example, we have BI360 University. Obviously, it's implied when you implement BI360, there's some basic training, deliverables, etc. But as a supplement and as a resource in your ongoing use of BI360, look, we have 111 videos, and these are growing all the time. And these are extremely high quality videos. So you just look up the subject of what you want to do, how to build a trial balance, for example. It's something basic. It's covered in training. But both the audio and video are very high quality. These are not rushed. These are appropriately paced videos that walk you through all the details of how to build these various reports. And as I said, there's just one of 111. And so according, if you want to build budget templates, you can do that. How to work with the web portal, you can do that. How to work with the data warehouse, all available here, all growing all the time. We also have, as Ohi mentioned, everything we have is available as a download to either be used, many cases out of the box, or as a starting point, as a base starting point that you can modify to suit your environment. So again, we have big demo packs that are done by industry or by ERP, large zip files of reports that you can download. Here in this customer portal, install documentation, user guides, white papers on many, many subjects, all available here. Now, another interesting thing for you to know about is that we have an annual customer conference, and it's called Focus. It takes place every August. It's going to be at the Torrey Pines Hilton this year in San Diego County, not all that far from the airport. This is really an exciting time, an event. So, for example, there are 2 full days of sessions for customers, and the level of these courses varies from from a new user to very advanced. These are typically 45-minute to 1-hour sessions with 15 to 30-minute breaks. And so it's not just new customers that come, but in the ongoing, as you're starting to get a glimpse of it, the i360 can really reach into so many aspects of your organization that you could send different people in different years, or just come every year. And especially if you have new hires that you're incorporated into your accounting group or management group, and you want to get them current, give them a glimpse of what the i360 can do for them, they can always attend our customer conference. And besides all the technical information and skills that customers can acquire, it's a chance to interact with many other customers. We're expecting perhaps approaching 400 people this year. It is growing every year. And you can get close to us as well. So our ownership is there, our developers are there, and even support staff, people that you may know from the phone, all at our customer conference called Focus. Great. I'm going to mention a couple other things. I'm going to look for a note from Ohi. Okay, I see she's still not connecting yet, but that's okay. As I said, the customer portal is very rich. So what usually happens, it all starts like this for most customers. It starts with a webinar, some sort of a high-level view of what the i360 can do. And then if it begins to pique your interest, it looks like it could be useful, has some potential to be useful for your needs. Of course, you have a discussion with your SIS representative. Could be Debbie Peavy, Dan, you know who your rep is. And so the point of that is to really try to understand what's unique about what you're doing. We typically have a really good questionnaire that's easy to fill out, but it gives us a good summary of your environment. It takes you 10 or 15 minutes to fill out, and what your challenges are, what your goals are. And so from there, we can go a little bit deeper on demo as needed. There may be some specific topics you want to know about, maybe some specifics about how you do projects, and how you could maybe budget and have input forms and have a workflow related to projects. So that could be the subject of a further demo, or basic report design and skills. So it could be anything, or a discussion about data beyond your dynamics that you may want to incorporate into your reporting or budgeting or dashboards. So it starts there, understanding your environment and maybe doing some further demo and discussion. Of course, at some point, often customers want to know about costs. What does it cost? Our solution scales from at a minimum for some very good basic reporting to a couple $1,000s, and it can scale up to suit many users and many applications. Actually, putting together a software code is pretty easy, just a matter of understanding your needs. And I just want to tell you, an implementation estimate is easily done as well. We coordinate a call. It could last maybe at the most 30 minutes between SIS, could be someone like Dan on the line, and some of our lead consultants on the line. And that's a time where we really get our head around your project, the scope of your project and the details. And you're able to ask a lot of questions during that call and feel comfortable that we do really understand what the goal of your project is. And so after that short meeting, we turn around a detailed line item estimate within a couple days. So just as far as pricing and costs go, it's pretty easy to get to that point. Okay. And just again, I kind of summarized this before, but when we do an implementations, project implementations, your environments can be complex. We have a lot of experience with that, and we combine that with SIS's skills. So it's just a matter of, at some point, in fact, we wouldn't sell a solution without a detailed implementation review. And it looks, okay, it looks like Ohi is back online. So I am going to try to give her the presenter. So thanks for being flexible with us, because I think Ohi wanted to make sure before we're finished, she wants to show you the ease of use in designing a report. So let's see here. Ohi, I am making you a presenter again, and let's see how we're doing.
All right, can you see my screen and hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So hopefully my internet will just be stable for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. So what I have on the screen is our report writer. And so I mentioned it's Excel based. And so the power of BI360 Data Warehouse is if you have multiple data sources, you can bring all of that into the data warehouse. So whether it's SL data or if it's payroll data or you want to bring in Google Analytics data to keep track of how many people visit your website.
Yeah, Ohi, I think we're having trouble again with your audio. So
have access to all of those different data sources at your fingertips here. And when you're designing, everything is drag and drop, in that you pick the field that you want.
That's okay. Continue, Ohi. It came back. Okay. All right. Everyone, no problem. Actually, we have really good videos on how to design a report. And actually, SIS has built up a nice little catalog from previous webinars on report design. So contact Debbie Peavy and she'll send you a link so that we can see, so that you can get an in-depth recording of how to build reports. And I think it would cover similar to things to what Ohi was about to show. So Dan, you can give me back the screen again, and let's start doing some Q&A. Okay.
Okay, you got it.
All right. Thanks, Dan. And thanks, everyone. This will still be productive. Okay. So let's see. I do see a series of questions here. Good questions. Okay. So, yeah, it kind of I had showed the architecture slide. We have a question. Where is the data warehouse hosted? Good question. I did not mention that, did I? The BI360 data warehouse, and I'm going to go back to that slide since we're talking about it, so just bear with me. Yep. The data warehouse, it's SQL based. It sits on a SQL server. Now, most customers, just through their own choice, have put it on premises, but it can be hosted. Many third parties host it, and kind of touches on another question here. I think someone saw that I had mentioned cloud in one of my slides. It also will be hosted by Solver in the very near future, the data warehouse. So for now, like I said, we have close to 1,800 customers, and the majority of the customers host this themselves on a SQL server. It's not restricted to your site, can be hosted by third parties and Solver. So let me segue into the question. I think it just said, just tell us more about BI360 Cloud. So what you would see architecturally, it would be totally different with BI360 Cloud. You would simply have your data sources and then an image of the BI360 Cloud. At that point, all the connections and everything from your sources and your end users, you're just connecting to our cloud. Now, without going too far into how our cloud works, but we still will have the Excel report designer. So that's important to people. People have loved our product because of the Excel design, the fact that with Excel you can do anything. I mean, quite frankly, Excel is so powerful, you can design any kind of report, any kind of budget. That will still be there for report design. So there'll be a little add-in to download the BI 360 Excel add-in. Okay. Oh, and related to the data warehouse, the web portal. So the dashboards sit on the web portal. So that's where the demo was working for most of the time, and she was in our web portal. The web portal sits on a web server, and that is typically on your own web server behind your old firewall, but again, it can be hosted. So a web server, for those of you out there who are technically minded, it's pretty easy to implement and support. Okay, another question here. Do you need a license to view reports? Great question. You do not necessarily need a license to view reports. Remember, these are Excel reports. So when they're executed, the person who executes a report has it, and they could share it with anybody. We also have a nice little system to automate this distribution called Publisher. So it is a way to automatically run reports and distribute them via email, put on a hard drive, put on a SharePoint automatically. Furthermore, and so this can share reports with non-licensed users because these are just executed, maybe Excel reports. You could distribute them as a PDF. It's all automated, and you can still set up security profiles for the non-licensed users that are receiving it. So for example, you may have a report that touches on 10 different departments. Each department head could get their own version of the report. It's just one report, but when it's run, there's 10 versions created, one for each user according to their security profile. So maybe the department manager would only see the projects related that they manage and not someone else's. So actually the Publisher is a great workaround, and you don't necessarily have to have licenses for all of your users. And I see one more question here. So it ties into this screen. What systems do you work with? So I mentioned we work with SLAX. We work with all the dynamics, but we work with any type of system. These happen to be SQL-based systems. And so if a system is SQL or an application is SQL, it's very easy to integrate that data on the back end. But over the years, working with, again, I'll say we're close to, I'm almost ready to say 1,800 customers. We're approaching that any time now. Customers have all kinds of sources of data. They could include legacy data, AX systems, Oracle systems, all kinds of unique sources of data. And there is typically either a converter to SQL, or always a system could export a flat file. And again, since I have the screen up, many of your payroll systems, whether they're cloud-based or not, they typically, for security reasons, now they're starting to build APIs, but they typically really restrict access and integration. So it's usually a flat file export. So in that case, it's just an import of a flat file into the data warehouse. So the question again was, what systems you work with? Everything. We can work with anything. Because again, at a minimum, you can import a flat file into the data warehouse, and then all that data is available for the reporting, budgeting, and dashboards. Okay, I think we've gone through the questions very quickly here. So let's move here towards a bit of a wrap up. And I just want to say thank you, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us. Thank you, Ohi, for a great presentation. And Dan, I'm going to let you do a little bit of summary here with these last couple slides.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, everybody, for attending. I just want to remind you that there is a very exciting conference coming up here in September in Tampa at the Tampa Marriott Waterside Hotel. It is the annual Dynamics SL User Group Conference. We call it DSLUG. And if you're interested in attending, please visit the website on your screen, www.dslugconference.com, and enter in the code in red, DSLUG17 SIS Customer 30, and you'll get $30 off the registration. It's a great conference. Anthony and his team will be there. We'll, of course, be there. Many other products and lots of learning opportunities for those of you who want to learn more about Dynamics SL and spend 2 or 3 days immersed in the great product that it is. We look forward to seeing you there. And also, we thank you very much for attending today's webinar. If you have any questions, you can contact Debbie Peavy, and she's at dpv@sifn.com, 678-336-8775, and we'll make sure we get any of your questions answered. Thank you very much again. From Anthony, Ohi, myself, and Debbie, thank you for attending. Have a great day.